And again, we just could not make it work. But I still wanted to speak to you all today. I still wanted to bring the message to you today. So you're joining me so that we can discuss and we can build on how to find your voice. How to find your voice right now when everything about our society and everything about the state of the country and the state of the world is falling to pieces. And finding your voice is a process. It is a process, and it takes time, and it's a commitment. And so I want to tell you a little bit about what helped me find my voice at a time when I was made to shrink. And this is what I want to tell you all today. Each and every one of us was taught to shrink. We were taught to be as small and as invisible as we possibly could. And that's what happens when you live in a society and in a status quo that tries to make you as small as you can possibly be. And when we invisibilize ourselves and we disappear ourselves into a system and a status quo that was never meant for us, when we do that, we lose so much of who we are. And so in the process of making ourselves small, it's a training and an education for a reason, because small people never have demands about change. Small people never take up space. Small people never join movements like Black Lives Matter. Small people never come forward and say that this is unacceptable and this is not enough. And so we need people who have strong personal power, and we need to drive that towards political power. And I think that's so much of what Black Lives Matter is about. And that's why I'm here with you today. And so if there's any one of you at home that has wondered, if you've ever wondered, is this all there is to my life? Is this all I'm ever going to be? That question is the answer. Because if you're asking it, then you know that it is true. You know that it is true that there is so much more to you that you haven't discovered yet. So much more to you that you still have to live in and build in. And so I want to tell you a little bit more about what it means to move out of hiding in plain sight, because that's what so many of us have been taught to do. To be out in the world, to seem okay, to seem like we're fine. But many of us aren't. In fact, most of us aren't. And that's what I've learned. So I want to tell you a little bit about what I had to do to find my voice and get my voice back and get my power back, because I know because I was there too. I was there just like you, wondering if there was more to life than this. And the moment that you're asking that question, you must know that it means that there is more to you. And so I want to continue the conversation that we started last week about stepping out of the story that we're born into, because that is how so many of us lose so much of who we are. We just disappear ourselves into the story that we were born into. And if you disappear yourself, then you're never going to fight, and you're never going to find your brothers in bravery. You're never going to find your sisters in strength, your siblings in song. It's supposed to drive us apart, keep us away from who we are, and keep us away from each other. And so here are some of the lessons that I learned in finding my voice. And I want to tell you how extreme it was, because you might look at me and you might say, well, how could you possibly think that? Because I could get up in front of a crowd and speak to thousands of people if I need to, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or just 10. But there was a point in time in my life, far more recent than you'd think, where that was not possible for me. I struggled to give money over to a cashier because I couldn't stand that human reaction if I was late for a class. I hated to walk in because I couldn't stand the eyes, all those eyes on me. I had internalized so much of my own worthlessness. That was the story that was told about me. I was made to feel like I didn't matter, and I was made to shrink. And I had internalized that